Well, let me ask you this: Ryan Garcia and Haney. And so Ryan Garcia, I mean, he fucked his weight up. You know what I'm saying? He went over there. Yeah, he 3 pounds over. But at that point, he don't give a fuck. So at that, I felt like he was just way a little bit more healthier, not giving a fuck. He putting on his weight. He doing him. He eating what he want to eat. Still exercising. Still doing him. I mean, still trying to, still got to cut the weight a little bit. But I feel like he was just like had a little bit more umph. You feel, because when you gotta make that weight, I feel like it take away from you and drain you a little bit. You know what I mean? I feel like Garcia came in there full strength, not giving a fuck, and he was just like, whatever. If I didn't make weight, nigga, fuck your little belt, nigga, fuck your belt. I'm just trying to prove to the world that I'm gonna whoop your ass. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so.
But the key words you said in there, you said it a couple times. You said, "I feel."
Yeah.
You don't know, you feel.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not into this fighter life stuff, you don't know. But 3 pounds is a big difference, you know? Having to cut another 3 pounds when you're hit to your max, you feel like I can't do no more. Nigga, tell you 3 pounds, nigga start crying and shit. Like, nigga, I ain't got it in me. I ain't got it in me. Start crying. Nigga cut their hair, try to cut some weight off. Niggas then try to cut their toenails and cut your ball hair. Niggas try to do whatever the fuck they can. It's like, all right, at that point, and you still want me to cut 3 more pounds? Them niggas cave in.
He also tested positive for PEDs.
I was finna say that. I was finna say, and he tested positive.
For what?
So,
performance-enhancing drugs? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know what that shit does, but it definitely is against their rules.
Well, that mean they gave him some extra
I want to say
strength.
it's a steroid, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, that mean they gave him some extra strength and that to get in there and get that left hook off to knock your ass off. Cause I seen Haney digging into that rib and it wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't doing nothing. It wasn't absolutely doing nothing. But my boy beat you with a body blow.
But it's the same hit that we saw Gervonta hit him with once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying.
Shut down that nigga whole
he
body.
Like, that's not happening again.
Because
at all. You know what I mean?
But they said somebody in Garcia's camp had told Gervonta that's where he's weak at. You hit that, he's gonna drop. That nigga don't know how to guard that spot, nor is it like a really stable spot on his body. So when Haney started really mashing that shit, you could assume that either he just strengthened the fuck out of his core, or the nigga was off something.
Yeah, or the nigga was off something. Yeah. Woo, making that weight is a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Next question: how does Bobby Green feel about Dana White pay? About Dana White's pay? I don't know. I think they're talking about fighter pay.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the little trigger questions because if you answer them wrong, you get yourself in trouble with the bosses and shit like that. Like, they don't really like to discuss pay. I tried to outsmart niggas, like, for instance, most niggas that do this shit, bro, they don't make money like that, The average nigga do this shit probably 2 years. And in 2 years, you're making 12 to 20 grand every fight. That's to show up and that's to win.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
Now, if you show up, you get 12, and then you win, you get 12. If you show up, you get 20. You win, you get 20. That's the average life. But 40 grand, say you don't fight, maybe if you fight twice a year, 80 grand. 80 grand a year, that's kind of close to being a warehouse worker. That's kind of close to being an average worker. You know what I'm saying? And so, in terms of those pays, so my shit was like, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to try to outsmart these niggas, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, yeah? So I'll take that little 20-20. I'll do that, yeah, I did that, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I kept doing that shit to the point where we got to re-sign kind of contract. They signed you for 4 fights. I knock out, instead I told you niggas fight out 2 fights, I knock out 5.
Contract killer.
I knock out 5 in that year, and they be like, shit, we got to renegotiate. So now you was giving me 40, 20, and 20. Now you got to give me 40 and 40. Okay, so now, all right, it still ain't what I want, but it's still going to make it work. And you know how to run through that contract? Now they got to give me 80 and 80. You know what I mean? I ran through that contract. You know what I mean? Now they got to give me, you know what I mean? They start doing this in half, you know what I mean? But I'm not saying those are actual numbers. Those are not the actual numbers. But my pay good, though, bro. I get paid well. And that's why I did it. It was that I fight more than these dudes, you know what I mean? And so my thing is the more time you touch that mat, the more time that paycheck coming. You keep touching that mat and more money you going to get.
Well, let's get Bobby Green on some hip hop shit, man. You keep that right there, man. We gonna answer some more questions. If you want to send in a super chat, we gonna send into some. We gonna do one more before we get into some hip hop shit. Drake and Kendrick is coming up next after we read this motherfucking super chat. But what's the deal, man?